let me quickly take our viewers through the very effects, the fallout that you are also mentioning from this very pollution crisis, as to how this is and this has been affecting the people, the residents of Delhi NCR. Here, we'll take you point by point here. It worsens our respiratory issues like asthma. People who already have pulmonary problems like lung problems, respiratory problems like asthma, this only triggers it further. Then long-term exposure to this particulate matter that we are speaking of, that is currently increased in the atmosphere, when our lungs and heart are constantly exposed to this on a long term, it damages it further. And this could trigger diseases like bronchitis and even strokes for that matter. And long-term exposure can also even increase cancer risk for many at this given point, given it can cause lung cancer as well, given the kind of exposure that people are facing in these current circumstances in the national capital. It only gets worse for them with each passing year. Now, it can also cause birth defects, especially pregnant women are told to stay indoors, to not expose themselves to the harmful effects of the air pollution at this given point. So they are advised to keep indoors as much as possible and not to venture out in this very situation. And also, these are some of these particular effects that we are bringing to you in terms of how it can indeed harm your health. And this is especially, let us tell you, for the vulnerable category people, that is children, elderly, and those with the respiratory disorders and problems. Now, let us also take you through another particular data set, which is what are you smoking at this point? Here's what you're smoking. The AQI above is 100. If it's above 100, that roughly translates to 2 cigarettes per day. If the AQI above is 200, that comes down to, goes up to rather 7 cigarettes per day. Again, if the AQI is above 400, and let us tell you, since morning today, in fact, since yesterday, this has been where the AQI has been recorded. You're smoking 23 cigarettes per day. It is that harmful. The outside atmosphere is that harmful for your lungs right now. If the AQI is about 650, this is severe plus category, that translates to 34 cigarettes per day. This is more than a pack that we are speaking of. Again, AQI above 850 translates to 43 cigarettes per day. And this is where we are standing, and experts have said that if the particular situation continues to be like we are witnessing, it might get worse. The 400 air quality index at this given point might even go up to 650 and 850. That is the situation. That is the crisis, viewers, that we are looking at this given point. Ashutosh, coming back to you, we were just bringing some data points for our viewers at this point, giving them an explanation, or rather an idea of how bad the air is outside. You know, there's an important part that you've been talking about as to how GRAP4 is a preventative measure. And despite that, the AQI has been worsening over a time period. And there's been delays in implementing these GRAP regulations. Despite the condition worsening, we have seen these delays. Maybe if these were in fact implemented earlier, the situation might not have been as bad as it is today.
Well, that was the responsibility of the government, of the state government, of the union government and different agencies. But you know, all it renders to mudsliding against each other, the political battle, one government blames another. But this time, even the stubble burning did not contribute much to the air pollution. What should have the government taken from the October itself, when every year we see the stubble burning takes place? Again, the agency should have been really acted on the time. However, this time that contribution has been really, neutralized, as the several data suggest. Largely, the Delhi NCR, when we see the pollution, is of their own vehicular emission, the carbon emission, the industrial, and moreover the dust. I can tell you, I just traveled around many parts of Delhi, Noida, Greater Noida, God City, these all areas, Noida Extension as it is called,
right.
The exponentially high-rise apartments that are growing. You have the number, millions of people accommodated, but there is hardly dust cleaning. And when you have these factors playing in, these government, these agencies did not do anything.
That is the main problem that we are looking at here, how inaction has led to this entire situation to get worse and worse with each passing day. Ashutosh, do stay with us. Viewers, we're also being joined by clean air activist and founder member of My Right to Breathe, Jayadhar Gupta on India Today. Mr. Gupta, thank you for speaking to us on India Today. You know, 2 years ago, we had spoken about this crisis. We had first started our conversation about this air pollution crisis that grabs that we see in Delhi NCR every year. This year, people have to say that it's gotten much worse. And I remember back then you had told us, you'd already given a cautionary note that this situation is going to get worse and worse with each passing year. There is something amiss in terms of dealing with the problem. There seems to be no permanent solution that's being offered to the people, to the residents of this very region. Your opening comments to that.
Well, if you look at what the big problems are, and these are, I don't even know if they're surmountable problems. It's poverty, literacy, and unmanaged urbanization. Until we deal with those problems, I think everybody in Delhi feels entitled, including people in government and even the citizens who live there. I don't get it. There are so many melas and Christmas markets happening in Delhi today, and we are in GRAP 4. I don't think people understand. This is where illiteracy comes in. I don't think and these are highly literate people. I mean, my own school is celebrating a fete today, and this is modern school, one of the leading schools of Delhi. People do not get it. We don't have a preventative nature towards health, and let me tell you, I mean, the air we are breathing today will decide and determine how long and how well we live tomorrow. This is a huge thing. I don't even, it's like COVID, right? I mean, even this season of air pollution will come, and by, Holi or whatever, you won't be able to see the grayness and people will forget. And then next October, it's like resetting, and it's the same cycle all over again. I feel like I'm stuck in this warp cycle that's playing out for the last 12 years of my life, where I'm screaming at the top of my lungs saying, hey guys, we need to get our stuff together. And if the government doesn't get it, if the government comes from a strata of society where they're not educated, or where they're apathetic towards health and environment, then the citizens can engage. I don't understand why the 5 to 10 crore people in NCR are willing to die because we have leadership that can't get their stuff together. And we don't need a debate in parliament to figure out a health emergency. There was no debate in parliament for COVID. So I don't understand why we need a debate in parliament for air pollution. This is a huge health emergency. Even in GRAP 4, it's life as usual. People are running, people are holding Christmas markets and fates. Nothing is changing. So I question the citizens at this point, because I frankly have given up all faith on our leadership and governance process, and we have not seen any policy. We just haven't seen enough. This year or in the past 10, 11 years, we just haven't seen enough.
You've raised some very pertinent points in terms of the fact that the public memory in itself is so short. You're saying that come Holi, we will see people forgetting this entire matter till next October, when the situation again starts appearing. And that's very pertinent when you put it across like that. But when we're speaking of preventative attitude towards this very problem, that seems to be amiss. Even this time, Jay, when we look at the GRAP implementation, there's not only been a considerable delay. GRAP is supposed to be a preventative regulation of sorts that's implemented so that the situation doesn't get worse. Not only was there a delay, there was initially a complete denial for the need of GRAP 3 and GRAP 4. And now we see the condition is such that people are being asked, students are being asked not to venture out to schools, but then life is continuing for people out there. And the point that the citizens have to say is, we cannot be putting a full stop to our lives just because the air continues to betray us, the government continues to betray us with regards to this very particular pollution crisis.
Well, this, like every year, we see a huge role of politics in air pollution, right? I mean, this year, it was mind-baffling that a day or two after GRAP 1 was announced in Delhi in October, the Supreme Court reversed their ban on fireworks. I mean, there you have kind of faith coming into the picture as well, saying, oh, let's go smoke up the city because, we have a new government and we have a new sheriff in town who sees things differently. Every year has a different flavor, but absolutely the new government thought it was a matter of shame for them to invoke GRAP 4. So firstly, I want to congratulate them on invoking GRAP 4. But I think we need to go further. I mean, it's literally the start of episode 2. We're not even in episode 2 yet. This thing is going to run till Holi. We you know we are looking at like huge long-term exposure. I mean, from
Right.
October 19th to run to Holi, you're looking at, I don't know, I mean, 120, 130 days of exposure. And children have been going to school. The poor
That's
children,
how
I mean,
harmful it is. Absolutely, absolutely.
and parents don't get it. I am on so many chats where 8 out of 10 parents are pushing for children to be out of the house at
Very
7:30
true.
in the morning when the
Very true.
AQI it hasn't been under 400
That
since
is,
October
that is what I was
2019.
talking about. They have to say that their kids' education cannot be faltering at this given point because of the air pollution crisis. But Mr. Gupta, I'm very sorry to cut you short there. Yes, yes, we're running out of time here. I'll just give you 10 seconds to finish your point.
Citizen of India, every business, every school, every entity to come up with their own graded response action plan that has meaning to them. The government can't do this. It's
Right.
very clear.
Right.
They haven't been able to do it, and they can't do it.
It needs to be more localized. The planning needs to be more localized. Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for joining us.